Right now, you may be thinking of someone in your life, a partner, a friend, maybe even a family member. Despite the pain they've caused, you stayed. Why do we hold on to toxic relationships, even when every sign points toward leaving? That's exactly what we'll uncover in today's journey, the psychology of toxic relationships, and why walking away often feels harder than staying. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just what toxic relationships are, but why your mind and body can become trapped in them. We'll explore the psychology of attachment, trauma bonds, fear of loneliness, and cultural myths about love. And most importantly, you'll learn practical tools to recognize the cycle and take steps toward healing. What you're about to learn may forever change the way you see your past, your present, and your relationships. Define: a toxic relationship is one where patterns of behavior cause emotional, psychological, or even physical harm. It's not just about fights or disagreements, it's about consistent erosion of self-worth. DSM-5 reference: while toxic relationship isn't a clinical diagnosis, psychology recognizes behaviors like narcissistic abuse, codependency, and emotional manipulation. Example: a couple who constantly argues but always reconciles without real change, an endless storm at sea, circling without direction. But the real question isn't just what a toxic relationship is, it's why do we stay? Let's dive into the hidden anchors that hold us there. Attachment theory: our early bonds with caregivers shape how we love as adults. People with anxious attachment often cling to toxic partners out of fear of abandonment. People with avoidant attachment may rationalize toxic behavior as normal distance. Story example: Sarah, who grew up with inconsistent love, stays with a partner who alternates between affection and rejection, because it feels familiar, even if painful. Attachment is one anchor, but another, darker current pulls us in even deeper: trauma bonding. Explain trauma bonding: when cycles of abuse and reconciliation create addictive highs and lows. Neuroscience: dopamine and cortisol spikes make leaving feel like withdrawal. This is why victims often say, "It's like I can't quit them." Relatable analogy: it's like being lost at sea, seeing glimpses of a lighthouse, then darkness again, but you keep sailing toward the hope. Research: Dr. Patrick Kahn's trauma bonding theory shows how inconsistent reinforcement traps people in toxic cycles. If trauma bonding is the storm, then fear of loneliness is often the fog that keeps us sailing in circles. Psychology shows that loneliness can trigger the same brain regions as physical pain. Many stay because any company feels better than none. Cultural myths: love means sacrifice, relationships take pain, or good partners change. These beliefs convince us that enduring toxicity is proof of love. Example: Mark, who stays with a partner who constantly criticizes him, because he fears being single at 35. So, attachment, trauma bonds, and fear of loneliness are powerful forces. But what makes breaking free so incredibly difficult is the cycle of hope. The toxic partner often shows remorse, promises change, or has moments of tenderness. These glimpses convince us, maybe this time it'll be different. Psychology calls this intermittent reinforcement. It's the same mechanism that keeps gamblers pulling slot machine levers. Occasional rewards create the strongest addictions. Story: Leah, who leaves her partner after emotional abuse, but returns when he writes heartfelt letters of apology. Why? Because the hope of change outweighs the memory of pain. Now that we understand why we stay, the anchors, the fog, the false lighthouses, how do we finally chart a new course? Awareness is the first step. Naming toxicity helps break denial. Practical steps: journaling experiences to see patterns clearly. Seeking therapy, building support systems, friends, family, online communities. Replacing the toxic reward cycle with healthy coping skills, exercise, meditation, new hobbies. Emphasize: leaving is not weakness, it's an act of courage. Quote: ships are safest in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. So, why do we stay in toxic relationships? Because our brains confuse chaos with love, our fears disguise loneliness as safety, and our hearts cling to hope even when logic knows better. But you've seen the patterns now. You've named the anchors: attachment wounds, trauma bonds, fear of loneliness, cultural myths, and false cycles of change. What you're about to do with this knowledge is up to you. If you feel stuck, take one small step today, whether that's writing down your experiences, reaching out to a trusted friend, or simply admitting to yourself, this relationship is not healthy. This video is for education, not medical advice. If you are in immediate crisis, please call your local helpline or the US 988 Suicide and AMP Crisis Lifeline. And if you found this journey valuable, consider subscribing and sharing your thoughts below. Your story may guide someone else through their storm. Anchor. This is Mindful Navigator, helping you chart your inner seas with science and self-kindness.